Now then, lads, and welcome back. So, when you think of features that wouldn't work in Enlisted, one of the things I think about would be, any gun that sort of forces you to grey zone or camp. Now, I don't mean like a turret or similar design, I mean a primary weapon that you equip. So what if I told you there were 3 guns in Enlisted that follow this exact design pattern, and they somehow kind of work? So today, I thought I'd shine a spotlight on these sort of overlooked guns to show off that, despite how they're designed, they're actually pretty fun. So, what are these guns, I hear you ask? Well, there's the M1919A4 for the USA, that's unlocked at Tier 4 in the tech tree. The Tier 4 Browning 303 for Japan, unlocked from a battle pass earlier this year. And the first of these guns to introduce this special mechanic, the S1100 Solothurn anti-tank rifle for Germany, which is for Tier 1, also unlocked from an old battle pass. Now, this mechanic has been in the game for some time, as it was added with the Solothurn all the way back in April 2025, so it's been in the game for over a year now. This was followed by the M1919A4 in the Far Eastern Front update, and then shortly after the Browning 303 in December of 2025. Now, there haven't been any new guns like this added since, at least to my knowledge, unless, I'm living under a rock. Entirely possible, though, mind you. And, I like talking about weird niche guns like this, so I think this is going to be right up my alley in terms of enjoyment and just sort of, experimenting. And I've played Enlisted so much, I gotta find something fun to have in the game these days. So anyway, let's have a look at how good they are, and let's just get right into it. Let's begin this discussion with the weapon to introduce this mechanic, the S1100 Solothurn. Fuck. Well, this is a bad start, since, I do not like this gun. So let me explain why. Sit down, kids. Grandad Brucie has a story to tell. Long ago, in the year 2020 or 2019, it was one of the two, when Destiny 2 went free to play, someone I knew convinced me to play it with them. For his sake, I'll call him, let's say Nigel. Yeah, Nigel. Well, you see, kids, Nigel was annoying, to say the least. Me and my friend Max, who's the one from the Terraria video, both had our issues with Nigel. He was quite obtuse in how he came and talked to you. He was hard to actually convince to do things, struggled to actually aim and land his shots. He made annoying noises like yelling, "Give me your toes!" at the Cabal whenever he engaged them in a fight. However, in rare moments of lucidness, he would do exactly what needed to be done at the time, only for him to immediately return to being a tosspot. The point is, he was incredibly annoying, and the Solothurn reminds me of him. This is not good. You see, the Solothurn can get tank kills, arguably more than some of the other straight-up anti-tank guns, but it consistently surprises me, because it tries its best to not get anti-tank kills. It tries its best to be so obtuse and difficult to use that it infuriates me. The sights are hard to use. It only has 20 rounds. It is meant to have a HE round, but that's completely bullshit because I've seen more explosive quality in a bang snap. Look, the point is, everything should work for the Solothurn, but it doesn't. And it got down-tiered from Tier 2 to Tier 1. And no one uses this, because the GRB-39 exists. So, what's the moral of the story here, kids? Well, don't use the Solothurn, because there is a literal better version of it with just as many rounds that you unlock in less time. Also, it's probably going to, grab your toes or something weird like that. It's a bad gun. It's a bad gun, it's weird to use, and it pisses me off, and I don't want to talk about it anymore, so we're moving on. Right! With the crap out of the way, let's talk about the first good gun here, the M1919A4. Now, I hadn't used this gun before like the other two, so I didn't quite know what to expect. Well, honestly, I'm glad to say this is a really nifty thing. While the fire rate is a bit slow compared to other similar guns, like the MG42, what have you, this one has a much more favourable ammo economy that allows you to basically lock down as many places as you can move to. I found that using this thing was kind of similar to a sniper in terms of positioning, since you really have to commit to a position. So sometimes you can get a load of kills, and sometimes you only get a few. It's a lot down to game sense. The only major issue I had with this gun was the proning. On the one hand, being prone means that it's always much easier to use this gun, since all guns get bonus recoil control when prone, so this thing is incredibly easy to aim. But you're also dealing with the enlisted prone mechanics, which can be finicky at best. You also realise how much more map geography is not built for proning, especially Windows, and while you can bipod with this, that means you have to use the bipod mechanics, and that system is way more effort than it's worth. Honestly, just running around different areas and getting squad wipes was really satisfying, and I actually had fun in a conquest match using this, which is like never heard of. I've never actually enjoyed a conquest match, so thank you very much M1919A4. And honestly, it's a good gun. It's like it's a really nice side grade to the Johnson LMG. Like, you give up your mobility for the ability to have way better sustained fire. And well, yeah, you're not gonna have much good luck in CQC, that's why you have a more squad mates and that thing to help. Overall then, I'd say the M1919A4 is a pretty cool gun, and you know, it's also in the tech tree, so that's a benefit. Finally, we have the most confusing gun out of the three. Browning 303 used by the Japanese. Right. So while this is a weird choice, apparently the Japanese did do this after they captured Malaysia. And at least it's a battle pass weapon. So honestly, yeah, I am happy with this thing existing. I mean, it's cool, it's weird. Like, I really did think this would be for the US, but like, no. Oh well. Honestly though, this thing is kind of the same as before, but just some more. It's essentially an M1919A4 with a similar, kind of smaller model, I guess would be the best way to put it, and a much higher fire rate. It also has weird, I guess, shotgun-style iron sights. Well, iron sight, it's just one steel nub connected to the bipod, but honestly, I kind of like it. It's pretty cool. Like, it's very open and clear, you know. The higher fire rate also, you know, is kind of a negative. It does damage the ammo economy, but like, it also allows you to kill people much faster and have way more efficient crowd control in the moment. I also found it good at shooting down planes thanks to the high fire rate, so I mean, that's cool. But yeah, it suffers the same from the bipod and prone issues as before, but honestly, I don't think it really matters, as this gun is kind of good enough to not really need to worry about it. It's just the, you know, that's the other Browning, but on steroids. I would say, though, the only issue with it is that there's no real reason to use it over the T4 outside of the higher ammo count. Unlike the M1919A4, that feels more like an in-depth side grade to the Johnson, since, like I said, it sacrifices mobility for sustained firepower, whereas with this, you're not really gaining much. I mean, yeah, sure, you're gaining a lot of sustained fire rate, but you can kind of do that with the Type 100 as well. Anyway, look, all I'm saying is, I like the Browning 303 as a novelty, but that's kind of it. Though it's still not a bad gun because of that, I'd still call it a good gun. Well, that's it then. You know, 2 out of 3 guns being good, that's not whole bad for, I guess, a whole class of weapons, I guess you could say. The only thing I would like to see change, though, with these would for the bots to understand how to use them, as whilst I was filming, the bots didn't really get any kills with them without me going prone beforehand and them copying. But then again, you know, like, that could be a whole video of all the stuff I wish the bots could do. Anyway, I'd also like the ability for the bipods, windowsills and balconies to deploy automatically, because that would save me one hell of a headache. And also give the Solothurn its HE, and then maybe I'll consider liking it. Probably not, though, because, like, hell, that's ever going to happen. Anyway, that being said, hope you very much you enjoyed this video, and thank you a lot for watching, and if you have any recommendations or any guns or anything you'd like me to look at in Enlisted, let me know in the comments below, and goodbye.